I had no knowledge of WERD. I took the space based on the legacy of Madame C.J. Walker because the name was on the window.
The nation's first black-owned radio station was once home to Atlanta's historic Auburn Avenue and served as a primary function for many blacks during the Civil Rights era. And now one Atlanta resident is focused on preserving its history.
2 years into the lease, a black woman stuck her head in the door while I was doing hair and just flat out, "Mr. Ricci, did you know the first black radio station in North America was upstairs over your studio?" I had no idea. So for 15 years, I've been preserving the history of WERD and promoting the legacy of the artists of that era.
The first of its kind during its time, it was the first Atlanta station to give voice to African-American artists.
WERD provided a platform for artists that would not be played on commercial radio because that music was called race music. WERD gave a platform to artists that normally wouldn't have gotten any exposure.
A radio station with less than 1,000 watts served as an outlet for the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King.
When the state gave its license to WERD, it only gave it a 1,000-watt radius, which is not far at all, and it was only allowed to operate from sunup to sundown. As it relates to the Civil Rights Movement, because WERD was already in place, it gave a platform for Martin Luther King to deliver his message and coordinate logistics for the Civil Rights Movement.
For those getting a nice cut or simply getting their hair styled, grooving to the music was a norm when the station was just above their heads.
WERD was directly upstairs over the Madame C.J. Walker Beauty Shop, where the women of the Civil Rights Movement would have gotten their hair done. Dr. Martin Luther King's office was on the other side of the vinyl wall in WERD studio.
Ricci de Forest says the preservation of WERD is here to stay, and he wants to extend an invitation to residents and tourists to come see and feel the experience of this Atlanta treasure. In downtown Atlanta, this is Michael Cornell Mays for #OnAssignment.